Good morning. I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela and we are the Castros.
Happy Thursday to everyone. Ang bilis. Tomorrow's a Friday. Yesterday was a Wednesday. At maulan na Thursday kasi ngayon.
Totoo. Pero mamaya bibigyan natin sila ng update tungkol sa ating weather.
Oo,
and
weather.
other issues na kailangan natin pag-usapan.
Madami pang topics.
Today.
And yung Olympic bid natin is winding down.
Oo.
We just finished with a couple of events. So we'll be talking about it later on. Okay, we're serving you news in a countdown.
All that before your second cup of coffee. This is Brunch.
Still sizzling at the 8th spot is the PUV modernization program. President Bongbong Marcos junked the Senate's resolution to suspend the program. 22 senators signed the resolution stating the PUV modernization program was rushed. Marcos disagreed with their sentiment and argued that the program was already postponed 7 times. He also said that majority of operators and drivers have already complied with the program.
And those that have been objecting or have been crying out and been asking for suspension are in the minority. 80% have already consolidated. So paano naman yung 20% ang magde-decide yung buhay ng 100%?
Now, to get more information about this, we have Transport Undersecretary Andy Ortega on the line. Yusek, good morning and thank you for joining us.
Hi, Diego and Angela. Good morning. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat.
Yes, good morning po, Yusek Andy. Siyempre, first off, ano po yung reaction niyo po dito sa sinabi ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos na tuloy po ang pag-implement nitong public transport modernization na program at dinidismiss nga itong resolution ng Senate na isuspend?
Yeah, the President was just being consistent kasi last year pa naman, yun na yung kanyang desisyon, yun na yung kanyang informasyon. So basically, I do believe he was asked and he just reiterated na tuloy ang programa but also tuloy pa rin naman ang paghahanap ng solusyon sa mga concerns that are being raised.
Okay, Yusek, let's talk about numbers po. Based on your latest data, how many PUV drivers and operators have already committed to this program po?
Yeah, percentage-wise, it's 83% nationwide. Number is around 159,000. Siguro if I may, Diego, just to add, no, kasi when you say 83%, parang you have 17%, no?
Yeah.
That has not joined. Siguro, yung sa 70% na hindi nagsama, siguro mga 5% yan, 5% siguro ang estimate namin dyan. Yun yung mga dalawang grupo na talagang ayaw sumama ever since, no?
Yes.
So siguro they're around 5%. And then the rest, it's a mixture yan eh. Some operators, ayaw na nilang sumama because they maybe want to do other business.
Yes.
And some, siguro, they want to retire already from the business. And malaki rin porsyento dyan are really operators that has not been operating for the past year or years.
Okay.
So it's not really, I guess, safe to say na 17% ayaw.
So yung
siguro masasabi natin mas malaking majority yan yung talagang nag-stop na ng business to being operator.
So Yusek, you're saying just to make it clear po, roughly around 5 to 7% ang masasabi mong talagang from the start tutol na sa programa and the rest may pa-retire na, the rest meron pong matagal lang hindi active. Ganun po ba yung sinasabi, Yusek?
Tama ka, Diego, kasi that's why I'm asking now LTFRB, we come up with the numbers para mas maging clear. And also, just to clarify, yung 5 to 7%, lahat yan sinasabi gusto nila yung modernization. Siyempre. Pero yung pinaka number one component, which is consolidation, to be in one group, to be in a cooperative or corporation, for them to be stronger and better yung doing the business, yun ang pinakaayaw nila mag-consolidate. They still want to retain the one operator, one vehicle policy,
Okay.
which yun talaga ang kailangan baguhin.
Okay.
Yusek, i-reiterate ko lang itong sinabi ni Senate President Chis Escudero na he is actually maintaining his stand na dapat daw isuspend muna itong public transport modernization program. And one of his bases po ay sinabi niya dahil daw dito sa letter to the Senate na nagmula po kay Transport Secretary Jaime Bautista stating only half of the 8 billion of the budget of the program was spent in 6 years of the operation. Tapos, in 6 years daw, 5% of the ayuda pa lamang ang naibibigay. And in 6 years pa rin, minority pa rin daw po ang local manufacture ng mga jeepneys.
Yeah, I'll address those three concerns. Pero alam nyo, sa pagkaintindi ko sa statement ni Senate President Escudero, it seems like he is agreeable to the modernization.
Yes.
In fact, I think ang pagkaintindi ko, hindi naman niya pinapahinto, pinapaslow down lang niya. What's good really is for us to know na lahat naman tayo, we agree modernization is a must. We agree that it should continue, no? It's just that may mga concerns na kailangan ayusin pag-usapan. Number one, alam niyo like yung ayuda, sabi 5% maybe more or less ang nailabas na or nai-avail. Kasi when you say ayuda, this basically is when we know already sino ang hindi sasama. Because yung hindi sasama, sila talaga yung may priority to be given the ayuda. Pero di ba, we just finished the consolidation April 30 this year. So ngayon pa lang talaga natin malalaman ang ayaw or hindi gustong sumama, and that's really the best time for us to extend to them the ayuda. Not before. Kasi kung before, hindi pa natin masasabi, di ba yung consolidation 7 times na extend. So siguro, one factor that makes this ayuda not full blast for the past years because we've been extending it. And then siguro yung other than that, yung 50% na suspend, meron pa rin tayong certain big amount for equity subsidy. Ito yung binibigay natin sa mga cooperative na amount, 280,000 for them to buy modern vehicles, no? Certain amounts are still there kasi marami na yung cooperatives and corporations pending yung loan nila sa banks. I think thousands yun. And these thousands can result into hundreds of millions or maybe a billion or so. Kaya pending rin yung amount that was given to us for this equity subsidy kasi nga hindi pa nare-release ng mga bangko. So marami talagang reasons that are there that makes certain amounts hindi nare-release because of, number one, laging in-extend yan before, kaya yung program parang tuloy ba or hindi, that's why certain amounts are not released. But now, clear na, April 30th deadline, clear, nireiterate ulit ng Pangulo, tuloy ang programa. I do believe and I see na tuloy-tuloy na yung programa in terms of spending, in terms of helping, in terms of releasing the amount that is really for there.
Yeah. Pero po yung usapin po na sinasabi na minority pa rin hanggang ngayon, yung mga local manufacturers ng jeepney.
Nako, I'll be saying it again. Officially, 59% of all modern vehicles that are being sold are local. So that is a majority.
Okay.
And to be really transparent, when you say local manufacturers, considered sila, 40% of the component of the vehicle should be locally manufactured to say it's local manufactured.
Okay.
Kasi ganito po yun. Yung makina at saka yung transmission, lahat po yan talagang galing sa ibang bansa kasi wala tayo dito sa Pilipinas. So papasok yan dito and then yung body, yan na po yung ating mga local manufacturers.
Yes.
Ibubuo nila yon. So once it's sold, with a 60 or maximum or rather 40% local manufacturers or local components, then that vehicle becomes local manufacturer.
Okay.
And that says 59%. So hindi naman po totoo na majority is foreign, it is local manufacturer.
So,
yun po ang reality.
Yusek, I'd like to clarify you regarding that. So is it a possibility po na mas mataas pa ang number na nagbebenta locally, pero ang pag-assemble po nila all imported parts? So for example, example lang po, saraw, that's a local manufacturing company. But if all the parts they use for are imported, so they're not considered a local manufacturer?
Pwede po yun kung more than 60% is yung imported. Like ito, no, yung kasi nakakausap po natin si Mr. Francisco,
Yes,
so
yes.
balak na
Francisco
po niya
Motors.
i-apply yung kanilang Francisco vehicle.
Yes.
Kapag nakita ko po ang Facebook post, body is done by Francisco Motors. Pero I do believe po, no, yung engine at saka transmission will be imported. So once that happens, I think they will be considered as local manufacturers kasi mamimit nila yung 40% component.
Okay.
So yun, Francisco, but in reality po, based on what I saw, talagang foreign yung engine kasi wala po tayong engine na gawa ng Pilipinas.
So Yusek, ito yung ino-offer po ni Mr. Francisco na before yung programa na selling the jeepney at a good price. Ito po yung jeepney na sinasabi yung engine po tsaka transmission galing abroad.
That's what I saw and kasi ganito, officially, mag-a-apply pa naman po sila.
Yeah.
So once mag-apply sila, makikita na po natin lahat ng component and then once nag-apply sila at ma-approve po ng ating opisina dahil kami po yung mag-approve, then doon na natin malalaman yung lahat ng components at pati yung magkano yung totoong presyo ng sasakyan. But
okay.
let's wait for it kasi hindi pa naman po officially nag-apply
Yes.
sila.
Oo. Pero in essence po, mas marami na po ngayon na option sa mas mura as compared dun sa unang initial na binigay before.
Alam mo ang ginawa ko, or I think, I'm not sure kung napadala ko na, because of that concern, I have asked all manufacturers, yung mga nagtitinda po dito na sasakyan, I will be asking them how much is the price of your vehicle. Para po lumaba ang totoong presyo, or rather maging transparent tayo lahat, para makita natin na, uy, mukhang mataas, so ba't mataas? So ito mababa. I think, kasi sa totoo lang, market-driven yan, wala namang kaming control. But I would like transparency to happen para talagang makita natin on what the true actual price should really be.
Right. Okay, siguro last question na po, Yusek, tanungin na lang po namin kung nasa ang stage na po ba talaga tayo dito sa PUV Modernization Program.
Tapos na po yung consolidation after 7 deadlines, extension, ito na po. Very big important component. And successful po dahil 83% ang sumama. Transition, we had a very good transition from April 30 to the present. We are now ongoing sa tinatawag na route rationalization. Tulong ang LGUs, pati ang DOTR. This will be a 2 or 3 years. Once na finalize po, alam na natin kung ilan ang sasakyan sa bawat ruta, sa bawat kalye. And once it happens, then pupunta tayo sa next phase, which is to modernize the vehicle, which will take also 3 years naman. So yan po yung proseso. And while we are doing this, every year po, tuloy ang training ng Office of Transportation Cooperatives sa ating mga cooperatives para matuto sila sa fleet management, financial management, labor laws, social support, yung mga SSS, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth, at saka yung mga ibang factors to make our cooperatives stronger, equipped, and more successful.
Alright, with that, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras. That was Transportation Undersecretary Andy Ortega.
Thank you po.
Alright, coming up, former President Rodrigo Duterte and Senator Bato de la Rosa will be invited to a probe by House's so-called Quadco.
And former Senator Sonny Trillanes has filed another case against ex-President Duterte and Senator Bongo.
We are just getting started, mga kapatid. More of our top 10 news when Brunch returns. Keep it here on One News. Good morning. You're still watching Brunch here on One News.
Kaya mo yan.
Napakain ako masarap kasi siya.
Masarap.
Katanong kasi sila ano daw yung nakalagay sa atin. Parang kasi sa TV parang black, pero purple siya.
Oh.
Purple.
Gumagapang.
Ano puto ba yan?
Gumagalaw pa, oh.
May
Joke
ano, may
lang.
coconut.
Coconut yan.
May coconut sa loob. Masarap
Oh,
siya.
the coconut nut is a large nut but is not a fruit. Hoy, good morning pala sa lahat ng viewers natin.
That's
Si Ralph
supposed to be-
Domingo, maulan na Thursday, Brunchies. Si Juan Miguel, si Migs Ebron. Hello, Brunchies.
Si Mian, di ba? Michelle Bautista Makatangay. Nanonood
lang,
sa atin. Si Mian.
Teka lang, na-ching ako. Okay. So, wala, hindi
Good
natuloy.
morning din dito sa mga nanonood naman sa atin, of course, sa YouTube. Si Oscar, si Mark Santiago, si Gary Go, at saka, of course, si Tita Daisy and Tita Naldi Cancho.
Good morning!
Alright, let's continue with our countdown. Coming at the 7th spot, the Education Department reminded all schools nationwide to adhere to the no collection policy. The policy stated that any sale of tickets or collection of contributions from students and teachers is prohibited. Exception from this rule are contributions from parents and donors and the collection of membership fees to organizations like Red Cross, Boy Scout, and Girl Scouts of the Philippines. DepEd also advised its personnel to avoid asking for unwarranted solicitations. Oo.
Okay.
May violation yan under Republic Act 4206 of no collection policy.
Okay.
Pwede siyang makulong and of course magmumulta. So kasi ano yan importante yan malaman din ng mga kababayan natin dahil naging talamak yan before, 'di ba, sa mga public schools na kung ano-anong mga fees, extra fees yung hinihingi ng mga teachers or nung school itself sa mga estudyante. And the reason why ka nga nag-aaral sa public school, wala kang pambayad. Tapos kung ano-ano pang mga hinihingi sa'yo.
Paano yung graduation fee? Nakasama ba yun?
Alin?
Kasi may graduation fee.
Oo, meron yan kasi yung sa toga yun eh.
Okay.
Mga rent ng toga. Pero ito kasi usually may mga anik-anik na hinihingi sila, mga miscellaneous and others. Miscellaneous may others pa eh. So at least ito malinaw na.
Miscellaneous na other.
Oo, di ba? Minsan makikita mo yan nakalagay sa resibo nila. May miscellaneous na may others pa. Alright, let's continue with our countdown.
Moving on to our top 6, a Senate panel has subpoenaed the 2 GMA contractors accused of sexual harassment. In a hearing yesterday, actor Nino Muhlach shared his son Sandro's alleged sexual abuse before the senators. Sandro was absent from the inquiry, citing mental and emotional stress. Contractors Richard Cruz and Jojo Nones also sent a letter of regret for skipping the hearing, which irked Senate President pro tempore Jinggoy Estrada. The Senate Committee on Public Information and Mass Media, chaired by actor-turned-lawmaker Senator Robin Padilla, is currently investigating the incident.
Alam niyo, pagka inimbita kayo sa Senado, huwag niyo i-preempt yung aming mga tanong. Okay? So, Mr. Chair, I think this letter is totally unacceptable and I move that we subpoena them at testificandum.
Mag-i-issue po ng subpoena ang komite.
We've worked
May
with di ba? We've worked with Sandro and Nino already.
Oo.
Mabait naman na bata yan si Sandro. Ang nakakatakot kasi diyan yung sinasabi nila about sinabi rin ni Nino, no? And Nino was saying that he belongs to a affluent family, a wealthy family, and a family that has a little
Major
clout.
contribution
Has a clout.
sa Philippine cinema.
Yes, has
Philippine
clout
television.
in Philippine showbiz as a whole. And if you can do that to a family with clout, what more yung mga sinasabi ni Nino, yung mga baguhan na artista?
Yes.
'Di ba? Ano mangyayari sa kanila?
Wag na tayo magpaka-hypocrite na hindi natin naririnig yung mga usap-usapan before pa na, 'di ba, long time ago na may mga ganyan mga issues pero hindi sila nagsasalita.
Oo.
But alright, so let's see kasi nagalit nga si Senator Jinggoy Estrada, 'di ba?
So nakasupina na.
Yes. Alright, let's continue with our countdown. Ranking 5th on our countdown is the Quadcom. 4 House committees formed a Quadcom to conduct joint hearings on various national issues. The House Quadcom is composed of the Committees on Public Order and Safety, Dangerous Drugs, Public Accounts, and Human Rights. They will conduct hearings on illegal drugs, pogos, drug war, and extrajudicial killings. House lawmakers are planning to invite key personalities in the previous administration, such as Senator Bato de la Rosa and former President Rodrigo Duterte, to attend the hearings. They clarified their invitation is not politically motivated. Iba na, bilog na ngayon ang mundo talaga. Dati kasi, hindi mo maririnig yan sa Congress, di ba, na maimbestigahan yung mga extrajudicial killings, illegal drugs. Ngayon
Pagtatanggol pa nila yung
Yes.
hearing ng mga ganyan before.
Yes. So,
But
iba naman
that's politics naman. Wala tayong magagawa. Ang admin ngayon, iba ang policy
Yes.
So, syempre, those on board with the administration have no choice but to follow kung ano yung policy direction ng presidente.
Actually, sinasabi nga dito ni committee chairperson, yung Committee on Public Order and Safety, si Congressman Dan Fernandez, sinasabi niya, for his part, he just wants daw to know the rationale behind yung executive order ni former President Rodrigo Duterte allowing gaming operators to operate here sa atin, 'di ba? To make to make the games available overseas or offshore. So gusto daw niya malaman 'yun at saka yung transfer of power from CESA, yung Cagayan Economic Zone Authority, to PAGCOR, 'di ba? Kasi doon nagkaroon ng malaking issue doon at doon daw nag-proliferate or lumaki rather yung issue nga ng POGO dahil doon sa transfer of power na 'yon. And etong Quadcom na to, nakikita daw nila there is a common denominator dito sa POGO na to, which is baka daw illegal drugs, yung pera na ginagamit dito, ginagamit sa pagtatayo ng POGO, etc. So they want nga to, investigate itong kaso na to, itong issue na to sa POGO. Kaya nag-form sila ng Quadcom. So abangan natin kasi for Senator Bato de la Rosa, for his part, sabi niya there's a interparliamentary courtesy. So sabi niya ayaw niya umattend doon, no? Parang yun ang kanyang naging unang pahayag na parang hindi siya attend dyan. Kung dun sa issue naman ng pag-imbita kay former President Rodrigo Duterte, yan ang hindi pa natin alam.
May
Pero usually
naman,
hindi naman siya pumupunta.
Pero may president yan na former president has attended. Si Pinoy.
Oo.
Pinoy attended. Si Senate hearing ba yung kay Pinoy?
Yes,
I don't remember.
sa Senate hearing naman yun. Pero ito, I don't think he's going to attend.
Dingbaksya issue yata yung kay Pinoy.
Pero I don't think he's going to attend. But of course, titingnan na lang natin kung anong magiging update dun sa issue na yan, yung kanilang Quadcom. Alright, let's continue with our countdown.
Next in our countdown, the joint sale of the Philippines, US, Canada, and Australia in the West Philippine Sea. The four-way sale is being held within the country's exclusive economic zone until today. The drills include landing operations, communication exercises, and anti-submarine warfare. Meantime, there were reports of China conducting combat patrols near Scarborough Shoal. But the AFP said initial reports indicate no trace of Chinese military activity in the area.
Siyempre, kung meron tayo, meron din sila.
Kasi nung unang may unverified report lumabas na may bumubuntot na Coast Guard sa mga nag-exercise.
Doon sa within our
exclusive economic zone. But I don't think naman manggugulo ang Chinese Coast Guard this time.
You have all those countries
You have all these countries together, di ba? So, yari sila dyan. May mga big brother tayo.
Pero I don't think naman on both sides would want a war. Gusto pa rin as much as possible.
Alam mo, ang
resolution.
labanan ngayon is economy, di ba? And anyone who starts a war must have a big war chest to support yung ginagastos mo. Look at Russia. Russia initially thought against Ukraine na the war would be swift and over with easily. Ngayon, di ba, yung gold reserve daw ng Russia tsaka oil reserve nagdi-deplete na because hindi nila masustentuhan yung, even through taxes, hindi nila masustentuhan yung ginagastos nila sa war with Ukraine. While Ukraine naman, on the other hand, ang daming nagdo-donate ng mga machinery and equipment, di ba? So, nasusustain nila.
Kumakampi sa kanila, ika nga. But alright, let's continue with our countdown. Ay, hindi pa pala.
No, our countdown says, don't go away because we're not done yet. May dalawa pa
tayo. Stay with us, batiin namin kayo pagbalik.
Welcome back. You're still watching Brunch here on One News.
Good morning. And of course, umahabol dito si Ralph Domingo, si Migs Ebron, si Sam Pokemon Go, si Gary Field na laging nanonood sa atin. Si Vladimir, tsaka si Hiner. Yan.
Ay, oo. Tapos ang sabi nga ni ni Sam Pokemon Go, tatakbo na daw siya ngayon sa bakery.
Baka na-engage siya sa kinakain natin.
Possibly. Sino ba yung nagsabi nun? Mag-itcha daw ako ng cream puff.
Kahapon.
Si Sam Pokemon Go ba
yata.
yan? Oo.
Oo.
Ngayon si Sam pupunta sa bakery. Mamaya ka na mag-bakery, hindi mo maabutan yung top final 3 natin.
Ano kayang number 1 natin? Yan po ang hulaan nyo. Pwede nyo i-comment yan
Ako
sa
number one.
YouTube, tsaka sa ano.
Ako yung number 1.
Alin.
Ako number 1.
Alright, sige, let's continue with our countdown. Going to the third spot is Senator Bato de la Rosa. Senate President Cheese Escudero assured de la Rosa that the Senate will, quote, follow tradition should the International Criminal Court or ICC arrest him. This means that the ICC cannot serve a warrant during a Senate session. Escudero said this was the case back then for former Senator Juan Ponce Enrile, Laila de Lima, and Antonio Trillanes. The Senate presidents of their terms refused to have them arrested while a session was ongoing. The ICC listed De La Rosa as one of the suspects of the Duterte administration's bloody war on drugs campaign.
Doon mo makikita na how times have changed. Now, yung discussion is you will not be arrested while there is session.
Oo.
Dati ang dynamics...
Hindi yan mangyayari.
Dati ang dynamics is no. We will not recognize any warrant or any arrest. Ngayon, we will not hinder, but we will not assist. Now, it's we will not hinder and hindi ka maaresto habang may session.
Oo nga. Tapos di ba naalala mo dun sa SONA ni President Bongbong Marcos, ni-reiterate niya na we have a functional judiciary system here.
Agree.
Di ba sinabi niya yon? Pero sinabi din after few weeks after, di ba si DOJ Secretary, sinabi nga rin niya Boying Rimulya regarding dito sa pagiging member natin sa Interpol. And we have to, clear that na ang Interpol, hindi naman yan mag-a-arrest na parang nakikita natin sa mga movies or TV shows.
Coordinating council lang naman ng Interpol. And even in the movies lang in TV shows, you could see Interpol, when they do arrest in coordination with local
authorities.
They are not allowed even to carry firearms.
Exactly. So, kasi minsan nagkakagulo yun sa mga usap-usapan dito. Basta ang importante, ang arrest na gagawa ay yung local authorities pa rin. Pero yun nga, nagkaroon din ng mga issue at saka mga bali-balita, mga napanood natin, nabasa natin, na si Senator Bato de la Rosa, sabi niya, he felt betrayed, di ba dito sa mga nangyayari? Bakit umiirap ka? Tapos sinabi din niya na according, meron daw siya from a very reliable source, na yung ibang mga persons of interest or suspects doon sa ICC probe na ito tungkol nga allegedly sa drug war under the Duterte administration ay kinausap ni allegedly ni Speaker Martin Romualdez.
This is coming from Senator Bato.
Yes, coming from Senator Bato. So we're just sinasabi niya na kinausap at sinasabihan daw sila na kung po pwede idiin nga daw dito sa investigation na to kapag sila in-interview or kinausap si former President Rodrigo Duterte at Senator Bato.
I agree naman
This is from Senator Bato.
I agree naman that in general, in principle, we are not members anymore of the
ICC.
The Rome Statute, diba? And at the same time also, ang sinasabi nila na we have a functioning judiciary system. Yes, we do, fully functioning. But the case in question kasi is up to the point 2019 when we were still members of the in Rome Statute, diba? We were still part of it. So therefore, diba, it's retroactive yung magiging case niya. Tapos number 2, the case is being filed sa ICC against a former sitting president. And when the crimes happened, he was a sitting president. So even if you have a fully functioning judiciary system, how will you go about that, finding justice, if the accused is a sitting president?
Exactly.
Diba? So that's why, ngayon from a stance of, ang sinasabi natin is we have a functioning judiciary system, true, but the second messaging is we will not hinder, we will not assist but we will not hinder also. So nakikita mo consistent messaging,
Oo,
di ba?
oo. Yun nga,
Oo.
just going back to sa sinasabi ko, na sinabi ni Senator Bato de la Rosa, these other suspects, no, or persons of interest doon sa ICC probe, ay they stood their ground daw at hindi daw sila pumayag doon sa affidavit na supposedly ididiin itong si Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, former president, and of course Bato de la Rosa.
But it would be nice also, and but fair sa mga accused sa ICC, kung pumunta sila voluntarily na lang para matapos na to sa International Criminal Court to air their side, their defense. Kasi they're not airing their side and their defense. They could refute naman all the claims against
ayaw
them.
nga nila, they don't
No, that's what I'm
recognize
saying.
it,
That's what, like the case of Pastor Apollo Kibuloy, di ba? You're claiming innocence and harapin mo yung detractors mo. Tignan mo yung evidence against you, i-refute mo. Di ba? You counter, mag-file ka ng counter affidavit, di ba? O di, tignan nila, Senator Bato, ano ba yung charge nyo sa amin? Ano ba evidence nyo? Tapos have a good international lawyer. Refute this claim. Sayang, si Spock Sari Roque was a good international lawyer before he got associated with politics, di ba? So, but ang
Pero
daming
ayun,
good lawyers out there.
You will see dun sa interview ni Senator Bato de la Rosa na parang he's quite well. This is just my observation, ano. And parang worried siya.
Oo, hindi.
At saka sinabi niya na parang bahala na kung anong mangyayari sa akin.
In fairness naman kay Senator Bato, he's always been truthful na takot siya of being arrested because gusto niya makasama yung family
Apo niya.
Apo niya, di ba?
Sinabi niya before.
Sinasabi naman niya before, ayaw niya ng ganyan, di ba? Ayaw niya ng ganyan.
Pero yun nga, tulad ng sinabi mo kanina, it's really different now, no? Yung scenario ngayon, dahil before, very strong ang administration na sinasabi nila na hindi natin papapasukin yan. We have a functioning judiciary system here. As compared sa nangyayari ngayon. Kaya sinabi ni Senator Bato de la Rosa, I feel betrayed.
Ano kaya nararamdaman ni Senator Laila de Lima, no? Former Senator Laila de Lima. Parang sinasabi niya, ginawa niyo sa akin
Bilog ang mundo, no?
Ginawa niyo sa akin
Bilog ang mundo. Alright, let's continue with our countdown.
Let's move on to our top two. A bill seeking to extend the term of House lawmakers has been filed. This was proposed by Ilocos Norte 2nd District Representative Angelo Marcos Barba. The resolution of both houses number 8 seeks to grant House members a 5-year term with 1 re-election. 5-year term, Currently, lower chamber members serve 3-year terms and can serve up to 3 consecutive terms.
I've been wanting to file this since 2019 but ngayon lang tayo nagkaroon ng pagkakataon para bigyan ng pansin ito. Like I said, it has caused a lot of distrust. Isipin nyo naman, every 3 years, lahat tayong ginawa kundi gumastos, the government makakatipid.
However, House Majority Leader Manix Dalipe opposes the proposal. He insisted that only economic provisions should be amended in the Constitution. This was echoed by House Committee on Constitutional Amendments Chairman Rufus Rodriguez. He cited Speaker Martin Romualdez, who said that the push for charter reform at this time will be confined to economic provisions. Isipin mo,
It's
no?
not over till it's over.
The 5-year term with 1 re-election, so that
Tsa-tsa pa rin.
means 10 years.
10 years instead of 9 years.
So, for example, you have in Congress voted to a 5-year term. The President has a 6-year term. So, maglalapse ang terms nila. By the end of the 5th year, the President is still there. And if in power at mataas pa rin ang numero ng Presidente, madadala pa rin sila.
Yes.
They will be re-elected to another 5 years. And the next sitting President will now approach a unfriendly Congress. Diba? So in essence, yung mga Congress na ihalal natin, if manalo sila, 10 years silang nakaupo.
Kasi marami silang mga plano.
No, could you imagine 10 years? That's counterproductive.
Plano sa constituency.
Nag-overlap siya between presidencies, so that's counterproductive. Number 2, Congress is there for checks and balances. Kung i-extend mo yung term, tapos 1 re-election, 5 years, paano ma-check and balance ang mandate ng isang presidente? The reason why hinati nila yan, 3 and 3, di ba, is because at least yung president has no choice but to perform well because alam niya sa midterms, kung pangit ang performance niya, in the midterms, the next set of congressmen or senators could be unfriendly sa mga sa administration
Pero huwag
niya.
ka mag-alala, hindi yan uusad. Feeling ko lagi
I
naman
know, but-
Yan ba yung usapin na
I just don't-
under cha-cha pa rin?
I just don't know
And it's not
where...
over until it's over.
Hindi ko lang where they get these ideas. 5 years tayo. 1 year election. So 10 years ang isang congressman kung
Ngayon
manalo.
ko lang narinig to, si Ilocos Norte 2nd District Representative Angelo Marcos Barba.
Buti na lang
Pinsan pala siya.
ni PBBM.
Ni PBBM.
Pero
yung
buti na lang...
daddy niya, yung nanay niya, rather, Fortuna Marcos Barba, is the youngest sister of the late dictator Marcos. Late President. Marcos Sr.
So buti na lang ayaw ni Speaker tsaka ni Rufus Rodriguez, Congressman Rufus Rodriguez ito. Kasi
Kaya-
the 5-year term,
Mahirap yan.
Mahirap yan.
Tapos, di ba, this is not the first time na alam ko, di ba, over the years, marami din mga nagpa-file ng ganyan
they also tried
sa Congress.
they also tried to amend yung term ng presidente.
Oo.
'Di ba? To multiple terms or 4 years multiple, similar to US models.
Tapos di ba, yung sa economic chacha na sinasabi nila na economic chacha lang yan, walang term limit na sinasabi yan, pero may mga ibang mga experts on the law na sinasabi nila nakatago daw yung provision na yun. Kaya hindi talaga magpo-prosper yan. Right now, even ngayon ang ating Senate President si Jesus Cordero, sinabi na niya pauna pa lang, 'di ba, na hindi yan ang priority nila. Pero yung ginawa ni Senator Robin Hood Padilla, few days ago, nag-file siya sa Supreme Court, 'di ba, para daw yung gawa na ng desisyon kung paano magboboto ang House, 'di ba, ang Congress, ang lower and jointly or separately, yun ang sinasabi niya.
Pero alam mo, just before we go to the next and the last one, I was watching a debate sa US between former lawmakers and lawmakers. They were talking about the US Constitution, should it be amended or not. Ngayon, ang point of na mga gusto mag-amend ng Constitution, it's outdated already. And the Constitution is not anymore, kumbaga ang term, parang hindi na akma sa nangyayari ngayon sa panahon. Kasi modern times, so you should adapt the Constitution to more modern fixtures. Pero ang ganda rin ng argument ng mga those who want to keep the Constitution as it is. Sabi nila, the Constitution, aside from the Bible, is one of the oldest written documents in the world. There is a reason why you do not touch the Constitution to adjust to modern times. It's simply because olden scripture is meant to put order in an advancing society. The rest is left up to interpretation, meaning, diba yung Biblia, for Christians, the Bible does not change. The Bible is just there. But as we move along, we adhere to the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not kill. You don't amend it, thou shalt not kill, unless diba, you're threatened. It just says, thou shalt not kill. Ngayon, the rest is up to interpretation pagdating mo sa
Good
court.
point naman.
So, ang Constitution, sabi nila, leave it as it is. Ang mag-a-adjust ang tao. Could you imagine if every other era, you adjust the Constitution para mag-adapt sa tao? O so di meron ka ng may woke Constitution ka na.
That's what they want.
The people should adhere to the Constitution. We should adjust to ourselves. That, if you have that argument, that means you are adhering to a order to prevent chaos from happening in this world. Diba, there's one order only. Diba, there's a set of rules. Killing is bad, stealing is bad. If you adapt it, you can steal basta nagugutom ka.
Exactly.
That's what you mean when you want to change it. Maganda yung argument na
Maganda.
there's a
Pero
reason
yun
why
nga
it's the oldest scripture.
Kaya dito sa atin, di ba, ako, bata pa lang ako, naririnig ko na yung lagi, kada administration, ibang administration, may mga congress na nagpa-file. May congressman na nagpa-file ng chacha, term extension, term ganito, iba-iba eh.
Kaya maganda yung argument ni Senator Jesus Cordero. There's a reason why this Constitution was made. And there are gray areas naman in the Constitution that were left up to otherwise provided by law. Meaning, kaya may linagay yun, it's pag naging modern times, makaka-adjust tayo in debate whether or not certain provisions in the economy. Di ba
Right.
sabi niya, for example, for some to stimulate daw educational sector, you really don't need the
Constitution
to change that because may mga certain gray
to
areas
change
there.
the Constitution rather.
Certain gray areas wherein you can have foreign schools come in at a certain, not fully owned, but diba, in partnership with another school. Like for example, Ateneo partnered with Princeton.
Kasi
diba?
babanggain mo naman yung ownership ng foreign.
So
diba?
that's why nga there's a reason why the Constitution was written as it is.
That wraps up. Ay, hindi pa pala tapos. Kala ko tapos na.
Pakainin niyo muna ang mga nagugutom, tanggalin niyo muna yung baha bago natin pag-usapan, i-amend yung Constitution.
Iboto niyo po si Angelo Castro. Let's go na sa ating top story for today. Our top story for today, former Senator Antonio Trillanes IV filed new charges against his nemesis, former President Rodrigo Duterte and Senator Bongo. He accused the two of being involved in the allegedly anomalous 16 billion peso frigate acquisition project. Here's the report.
Former Senator Antonio Trillanes IV went to the Department of Justice to file new charges against former President Duterte and Senator Bongo. He accused the two of plunder and graft and corruption over the allegedly anomalous 16 billion pesos frigate acquisition project. The project is part of the Armed Forces Modernization Program from 2013 to 2017. In his 50-page complaint, Trillanes indicated that Duterte and Go manipulated the frigate acquisition project by actively interfering in the bidding process. He said that Duterte administration were given a choice between the Hanwha system from Korea's Hyundai Heavy Industries and the Tactico-Stales system from France. Duterte's staunch critics stated that the Tactico-Stales combat system was the Philippine Navy's preferred firm. However, Duterte and Go coerced the Philippine Navy to favor the Korea-based corporation despite being cheaper, disadvantageous, and non-compliant to the bid.
Nagbigay ng specifications ang Philippine Navy na kung ano ang kailangan nila na gamit at ito ay dinaan sa bidding process, pero nung nanalo na sa bidding, biglang iniiba nung kontratista yung mga nakalagay dun sa napag-usapan. At dahil sa kanilang mga contacts, no, in this particular case, si Bongo at si Duterte, ay pinilipit nila yung kamay ng Philippine Navy para lunukin at tanggapin yung mga pabor dun sa private contractor.
Aside from Duterte and Go, former Budget Undersecretary Christopher Lau and other past defense officials were listed as respondents to the complaint. Go called Trillanes' allegations against him as recycled and another form of propaganda. The former president has yet to respond to Trillanes' accusations against him. For News 5, Camille Samonte, We Are One News.
O yan talagang hindi titigil si Senator Antonio Trillanes.
Parang parang Avengers no? Nemesis, kalaban, kontrabida.
Pero di ba talagang dinidiin nga niya itong si Senator Bongo dito sa deal na ito.
Actually,
at sinasabi meron daw sila kasing documents that would really link Senator Bongo, no? Ito, sabihin ko lang, yung meron daw post-it on a white paper endorsing a supplier of the combat management system, yung CMS, that was to be installed in the ships. Tapos meron ding letter inviting the Navy officer in charge of the project to a meeting in Malacanang about the CMS selection. Tapos, a report submitted by the same Navy officer and addressed daw to kay President Rodrigo Duterte and Go himself. So yung tatlong dokumento na yun daw ay malakas na dokumento or proof that would really link Senator Bongo dito sa deal na ito.
Ang problema, di ba, documents and evidence has to be corroborated by actual testimony. Otherwise, it is hearsay. Parang, did you yourself see the document being typed or signed? Yung post-it, nakita mo ba mismo?
Sinulat niya?
Sino nagdikit? So it has to be. And siguro, I think si former Senator Trillanes knows naman what he's doing.
Yeah.
He was in the army before. He was an intelligence officer as well. Alam niya na yan.
Kasi nililink din dyan yung sinasabi niya, kumpanya nila yan, half-brother daw niya yung may-ari, ni Senator Bongo.
South Korean.
At di daw niya nakakausap yun.
South Korean company. Matagal na itong issue. I remember nung unang pumutok to
Oo, I was asking you kanina.
Hindi tumagal po yung debate. I think he tried to raise it also sa Senate. Hindi naman nag-prosper yung hearing. It's because wala naman, let's face it, kasi numero yan eh.
Yeah.
It's a numbers game, di ba? So kung wala kang numero, hindi
dito yung di ba, minatanggal na Vice Admiral?
Yeah.
Oo. Dahil
hindi siya nag-agree. He dissented.
Ayaw.
Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining us today on a Thursday rainy morning. See you again tomorrow. But before anything else, thank you sa lahat ng viewers, and I'd like to leave everyone with a very, very simple quote. There is no limit to the power of loving. A quote from John Morton.
Pwede rin dyan yung quote ni Jimi Hendrix. When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace.
Hindi na, okay na yung there's no limit to the power. Pinahaba mo pa.
Okay, go!
And that wraps up today's episode of Brunch. Sinadya ko yun para nakakatawa.
Join us again tomorrow. I'm Angela Lagunzad-Castro. You are, ano pangalan mo? Angelo Castro III. We are One News, all sides, all the time. Alis ka na, all sides, all the time.